Would you define Kentucky's win at Kansas as the most high-profile win of the weekend, or would you define what Alabama did to Baylor as the most high-profile win of the weekend?
Clearly, to me, what Kentucky did at Kansas, because they didn't just win, they didn't just beat Kansas, they beat Kansas' brains in, and they did it inside Allen Fieldhouse. Like, the list of teams who have ever beat Bill Self's brains in at Allen Fieldhouse is like so small, and the game was not even competitive in the second half. Like you were sort of wondering, like, is Kansas ever going to make a run? And the answer was no. They just, and they cut it to 16, and they got it to 14, and then it was just it. They couldn't get anywhere. But clearly what Alabama did against Baylor, rather, was impressive. And you wrote about this, so I'll let you handle the bulk of this. But Baylor comes in now 3-3 in its past 6. So they came in 3-2 in the previous 5. They've hit some bumps, but we can't be surprised by that result. I was surprised that Kentucky pounded Kansas. Nothing surprising. Once you hear Ty Washington's playing, can Kentucky win at Kansas? Sure, they can win, but like pound them? I didn't expect that. That was surprising. Nothing surprising about Alabama beating Baylor, if only because this is what Alabama's been doing all season. Beating teams like Baylor, Gonzaga, Houston, and then losing to teams like Iona, Missouri, Georgia, Memphis. It's not just the wackiest resume in the country right now. It's like one of the wackiest ones I can remember.
It's up there. Alabama no longer, I think, has the capacity to surprise, but it will continually, it is fated for the rest of the season to carry the capacity to thrill us no matter what. Now we talk about quad 1 wins not all being equal. Alabama, it's top end. It's not just that it's 5-1 against ranked teams. Alabama's 5 wins have come against teams ranked in the top 15 of the AP top 25. 2 of those wins, top 5 opponents, Gonzaga and Baylor. Houston now ranks as a top 5 in multiple metrics. Last time Alabama did this, won 2 games against AP top 5 teams. That was 2003, 2004, which also technically included Bama upsetting number 1 seeded Stanford in the NCAA tournament. But yeah, Alabama, I do have a column on CBSSports.com or on the CBS Sports app that you can check out. Not if we could be so kind to toss that in the podcast description. People can read it as they listen if they so choose. By the way, hello, YouTube, if you have not already.
Hey, YouTube. Hey, YouTube.
Hit the like button.
Hey, YouTube. Hey there.
We are your halftime entertainment if you're watching live, and not will even have a little bit of video and just a little bit here. We're going to show a CBS highlight. But as for Baylor, Alabama shot 22 of 28 from 2-point range in this game. 78.6%. 42 of the team's 87 points came in the paint. Javon Quinterly had 20. Parrish. Jaden Shackelford had 19. Something I didn't realize until I wrote on this game, that they are the top scoring duo in the SEC. Then you had Juwan Gary, who had 15. He had missed the previous 2 games. He had that badass mask. J.D. Davidson had 14. So Alabama was they kept coming in bursts, essentially. And yeah, they're fun. They're mercurial. I think, as I wrote, they're just the perfect team for March. They can make the Final Four. They can get knocked in the first round. But I think Tide fans might have had a little bit of a good feeling, not just because of who they'd beaten earlier this season. Alabama's actually 8-2 all time against Baylor. So the program itself has actually done quite well. But yes, they were able to have big plays, shoot well. Alabama went on a 14-2 run that got them up basically by like 13 points into the second half. And then there was enough there because Baylor kept making like good pushes and Alabama had response after response after response. So what do you want to say? Like, a fun team. Oates said in the post game that they actually considered the Georgia game a must win because of what's upcoming. And I can get into that a little bit more when we preview the Monday and Tuesday games. But how about this for Alabama? Now, this I can't ever remember seeing, not that I went and hunted for it. So as of Sunday, here's Alabama in the metrics. 5th in KPI, resume-based. 27th in strength of record, resume-based. So their greatest discrepancies are 2 metrics that are cut from the same cloth, so to speak. 5th in KPI, 27th in strength of record, and then everything in between are your predictives. 18th at KenPom, 19th in BPI, 22nd in Sagarin, 23rd in the net, 24th in Torvik. Alabama is a capable team. They are unpredictable, going to take more losses. And my main takeaway in the column was you just need to accept the fact no matter what you do with this team and how you predict it to do in your bracket, it's probably going to burn you. If you think, you know what, I'm going to take Alabama to be that first or second round upset, watch it go on and then just scoot to the Final Four. If you think I'm going to actually go against the trends, I'm going to say this team's going to continue to play well, pick it into the Elite Eight, going to get knocked off in the first round. There's always a team or two. We all have those teams that we have those relationships with when we get to the NCAA tournament. Alabama just seems fated to be one of those teams. If they are absolutely rolling, that's a great thing. They are not a great three-point shooting team, which ultimately, weirdly, could be their downfall because they're not against shooting threes. They're just not a good three-point shooting team. So Bama was my bigger story, but you did knock, I'll toss it right back to you here, GP. Baylor started 15-0. Now 3-3. I still believe in the Bears. I don't really take too much off them in losing this game. Even Jeremy Sohan had some big time moments. Akinjo played 32 minutes, but to me, Bama was the bigger story because it's developing. Just yes, maybe the weirdest resume in college hoops.
Not only are they not against shooting threes, they want to shoot a bunch. I mean, that is the style of play that they practice with and they take to the court for better or worse. And to me, there's nothing simple, when you're trying to explain how can you, because I got asked this on radio few weeks back, how can you beat Gonzaga and Houston and lose to Missouri and Georgia? And I'm like, I don't have a great answer for that. But the best obvious explanation is the style of play that they're committed to. They're going to shoot, around 47% of their shots from 3-point range. I think it's 46.5, which ranks top 25 nationally. But they're terrible at shooting threes. They shoot 31% from three. They rank 285th in the country. So they're going to shoot them, but they don't make them. So when you're committed to taking roughly half your shots from three, and you don't shoot them well, you're susceptible to anybody. On the other hand, when they make them, because they're going to take them. By the way, this is why you see so many weird results in the NBA. Oh wow, the Magic just beat the Suns. What happened? Because everybody's taking threes now. And when somebody makes them, I don't care how bad they are, somebody dumps in 48% of their three-pointers and they're taking, 45% of their shots from three, you're going to have a hard time with that. So when Alabama makes them, they're capable of beating anybody. Although it should be noted, that is not the most – that is not the explanation for every big win they have. They shot well from three against Gonzaga, 13 of 34. But they were only 7 of 18 from three against Houston. That's a good percentage, but it's not a lot of attempts. Against Baylor, they were 33.3% from three, so that's not great. It's better than their average. What is true is when they get these big wins, they shoot better than their average. What's interesting is that they're terrific from 2-point range. They were 22 of 28 from two. Yeah, against Baylor, 22 of 28 from two. And I mean, that's 78.6% from, inside the arc. Last season, they only shot 50.7% inside the arc. This season, it's 57.6, which ranks 6th nationally. So they can beat you from three when they make them, but they're going to really get you inside the arc. And then they're a good offensive rebounding team. They don't guard like they guarded last season, just like Kansas doesn't guard like they guarded last. It's just a lot of interesting statistical stuff connected to them. And, the resume is wild. I put them 26th in the top 25 and 1 this morning. I didn't know what to do with them. I mean, they got such big wins. They got horrific losses. They do have strong computer numbers. I just said, you can be the and one, and we'll see where we're at, after the next time you play.